Welcome to our YouTube channel. Here, we bring you engaging and informative content on a variety of topics. Whether you're here to learn something new, or simply looking to be entertained, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. In this video we will listen to an inspirational story about a superhero named Max with the title Saving the World, One Day at a Time, a day in the life of a superhero. Max woke up before the sun had risen, feeling a sense of duty calling him to the streets. He quickly changed into his superhero suit, knowing that it was time for his daily patrol of the city. As he made his way through the quiet streets, Max's heightened senses were on high alert for any signs of trouble. It wasn't long before he heard the sound of glass shattering and tires screeching in the distance. Max sprinted towards the source of the commotion and saw a group of masked robbers breaking into a jewelry store. He quickly assessed the situation and formulated a plan of attack. With lightning speed, Max launched himself towards the robbers, using his superhuman strength to knock them off their feet. The robbers, surprised by Max's sudden appearance, scrambled to get back on their feet and make a run for it, but Max was faster. He chased after them, leaping over parked cars and dodging obstacles in his path. In the end, he managed to capture all of the robbers and hand them over to the police. As Max was about to head back to his apartment, he heard a faint meowing coming from a nearby tree. Looking up, he saw a small cat, trapped and scared. Without hesitation, Max climbed up the tree and carefully rescued the cat, bringing it back down to safety. Feeling a sense of satisfaction, Max knew that his job was never done. There was always someone who needed his help, and he was ready to answer the call at a moment's notice. With that thought, he headed back home to rest and prepare for the rest of the day ahead. After a quick shower and breakfast, Max headed out to his day job as a journalist at the city's newspaper. As he walked into the newsroom, he greeted his colleagues and settled into his desk, ready to start the day's work. Max was an expert at balancing his two lives, seamlessly shifting between his job as a journalist and his superhero duties. He knew that being a journalist gave him an edge in keeping up with the latest happenings in the city, and he made sure to keep an ear out for any trouble that might require his intervention. As the day wore on, Max found himself juggling between writing articles and responding to a few emergencies that required his attention. With his lightning-fast reflexes, he was able to handle everything that came his way. Max's colleagues were always amazed at how he could handle such a high-pressure job and still manage to save the city from danger. But Max knew that it was all part of his duty as a superhero. He had made a promise to himself to always be ready and available to help those in need. As the workday came to an end, Max took a deep breath, feeling satisfied with the work he had accomplished. But he knew that his job wasn't done yet. There were still hours left in the day, and anything could happen. With that thought in mind, he prepared for the rest of his day, ready to answer the call of duty. During his lunch break, Max met up with his close friend, Mary, at their favorite cafe. As they caught up on each other's lives, Max couldn't help but feel grateful for the few moments of normalcy in his busy schedule. Mary knew about Max's secret life as a superhero and often provided a sounding board for him to vent his frustrations or share his successes. They chatted about their work, hobbies, and upcoming plans, enjoying the simple pleasures of life. But their lunch was interrupted by the sound of sirens blaring outside. Max quickly excused himself, leaving Mary to pay the bill, and rushed out to see what was happening. When he got outside, he saw a group of people trapped inside a burning building. Without hesitation, Max sprang into action, using his superhuman strength and agility to break down the doors and rescue the people inside. As he carried the last person to safety, Max's body was racked with pain. He had strained his muscles and sustained some minor injuries. But he knew that he couldn't let anyone see him weakened, so he quickly composed himself and went back to the cafe to rejoin Mary. Over the next few minutes, Max tried to hide his pain, but Mary sensed that something was wrong. She prodded him until he finally relented and told her about the strain he had put on his body. Mary encouraged Max to take some time off and rest, reminding him that he couldn't help others if he didn't take care of himself. Max knew that she was right, so he thanked her for her concern and promised to take some time off to recover. With a renewed sense of purpose, Max left the cafe, ready to rest and recharge his body so that he could continue his superhero duties with full strength. After taking some time to rest and recuperate, Max headed out for his afternoon patrol. He knew that the city was never truly safe, and there were always people in need of his help. As he flew over the city, he spotted a group of bank robbers making their escape in a stolen car. Without a moment's hesitation, Max swooped down and grabbed the car, using his superhuman strength to stop it in its tracks. The robbers were no match for Max's speed and agility, and he had them apprehended in no time. But as he was taking them to the police station, he heard the sound of glass breaking coming from a nearby building. Max's instincts told him that someone was in trouble, so he quickly handed the robbers over to the police and rushed towards the sound. When he got there, he saw that a group of thieves had broken into a jewelry store and were trying to make off with the loot. Max knew that he had to act fast to stop them, so he used his superhuman speed to disarm the thieves and secure the stolen jewels. With the danger averted, Max called the police and waited for them to arrive. As he flew back home, Max felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that he had once again saved the day. But he also knew that he couldn't do it alone, and he was grateful for the support of the police and his friends. Max made a mental note to thank Mary and the police officers he had worked with earlier that day, reminding himself that even superheroes needed a little help every once in a while. As the sun began to set, Max flew back to his home, feeling both exhausted and exhilarated from his day's work. He landed softly on his front lawn and walked into his house, feeling relieved to be able to take a break from his superhero duties. He was greeted with the comforting smell of his favorite meal, lasagna. His parents, younger brother, and sister were already sitting at the table, waiting for him to join them for dinner. As they ate, Max listened to his siblings talk about their day at school while his parents asked him about his own. He was always careful to keep his superhero life a secret, so he told them about his part-time job at the local grocery store instead. After dinner, Max retreated to his room to relax and catch up on some reading. But as he was settling in, he received a distress call from the police. A nearby building was on fire, and there were still people trapped inside. Without a second thought, Max leaped into action, changing into his superhero costume and flying towards the scene of the fire. When he arrived, he saw that the building was completely engulfed in flames, and there were people screaming for help from inside. Max knew he had to act fast if he wanted to save them. Using his superhuman strength, he lifted a fallen beam and cleared the way for the trapped civilians to escape. He made several trips into the burning building, carrying people to safety before finally extinguishing the flames with his super breath. Exhausted but satisfied, Max flew back to his home, taking care not to arouse any suspicion from his family. As he drifted off to sleep, he felt grateful for the opportunity to help people and the support of his loved ones. As the night wore on, Max knew that his duty as a superhero was never truly done. He couldn't afford to let his guard down, especially when there were still dangers lurking in the shadows. He flew around the city, keeping an eye out for any suspicious activity or signs of danger. He stopped a mugging in progress, intervened in a car accident, and stopped a group of robbers from breaking into a jewelry store. Despite his exhaustion, Max felt a sense of purpose in his work. He knew that he was making a difference in the world, even if it meant sacrificing his own personal time and rest. As the sun began to rise on the horizon, Max knew it was time to return home and get some much-needed rest. As he landed on his front lawn, he saw that his family was already awake and getting ready for the day. Max smiled as he walked inside, feeling grateful for the support and love of his family. As he drifted off to sleep, he knew that he was lucky to have them in his life, even if they would never know the full extent of his superhero activities. The next day, Max woke up feeling both physically and emotionally drained. He knew that being a superhero was a difficult job, and it required him to make sacrifices that others didn't have to make. He spent some time reflecting on his life as a superhero and the impact it had on his personal life. He realized that he had been so focused on saving the world that he had neglected his own needs and desires. Max thought about his childhood dreams of becoming a writer, and realized that he had put those dreams on hold for far too long. He knew that he needed to find a balance between his superhero duties and his personal goals. With this realization, Max made a decision. He would continue to be a superhero, but he would also make time for his own passions and interests. He would find a way to balance his two lives and make them both work together. As the day went on, Max felt a renewed sense of purpose and motivation. He knew that it wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to make it work. With a newfound sense of balance and perspective, Max went back to his superhero duties, knowing that he could face any challenge that came his way. Thanks for watching our videos. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video.